More and more cities in Arkansas are making it a requirement to wear a mask in public. And tonight, Conway is added to that list. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Craig O'Neill, and our Ashley Godwin has the details on what the ordinance will look like in the City of Colleges.
I make a motion for adoption of the ordinance and the emergency clause.
Second.
The Conway City Council unanimously passed an ordinance to require people to wear masks inside businesses.
And so this is more or less formalizing that and allowing the businesses something to point to when patrons try to enter their establishment and refuse to wear a mask.
This ordinance does not include any penalties like citations or fines if you do not follow it, but businesses have the right to refuse you service if you are not compliant. This applies to all age groups and goes into effect immediately.
We had 3 medical professionals speak to our group, and every one of those medical professionals say that asymptomatic people are out there that are spreading the disease and don't know it. They're not doing it on purpose.
Conway Alderman Andy Hawkins and other council members expressed their biggest agreement for wearing a mask because people could be contagious with the virus and not have any symptoms.
Might be carrying this and just not know it.
But Hawkins knows people can't be forced to put on a mask, so he asks that people follow the ordinance to keep the Conway community safe and healthy.
We're not dumb. We know that there are going to be people out there who are not going to use them. But I'm just very convinced that right now this is the way that is best to slow down this particular virus. And so we're going to go ahead and use it to the fullest extent that we can.
Reporting for THV 11, I'm Ashley Godwin.
All right, Ashley, thank you. The city of Rogers made the same decision tonight. Its city council called a special meeting where the vote was also unanimous to adopt the mask ordinance. Law enforcement and other city officials will be used to help enforce the new rules. Governor Hutchinson was pretty clear about it last week. If you want to play football this fall, you need to start wearing a mask and practice social distancing. It's a message the Alma Airedales took to heart and took to social media with their Mask Up for Sports campaign.
I'm a football coach and it's important to me, but there are so many other things that our kids need to be doing. Number one, we need to get back in school and we need to get back to normal. If it gives us a chance to have football, to have sports, to have school in some kind of normal setting, I'll do whatever you ask me to do.
Other schools have gotten in on the hashtag, including the Benton Panthers and their head coach Brad Harris. You can hear more from both coaches on our website, thv11.com. We've asked you to share the reason you choose to wear a mask, and so many of you have responded. Some say it's for their family members, some their co-workers or their fellow community members. Whatever the reason, we want you to keep posting on social media and be sure to use the hashtag WhyIWearAMaskAR so we can see it and we can share it. And if you need another reason to wear a mask, 5 more Arkansans have died from coronavirus since yesterday, meaning soon we could reach 300 total deaths in Arkansas. There were 439 new COVID-19 cases reported today, and nearly all of them are out in the community, not in prisons. More than 100 of our active cases are people in nursing homes. 337 people are in the hospital tonight fighting that virus, and 81 of them are relying on ventilators.
It's a warm and humid night around the region. There have been a few cooling showers dotting the landscape. As we take a look at the radar with the temperatures right now, we're into the upper 70s to lower 80s, and just a few showers still lingering around southern parts of the state. One lone downpour moving through Bradley County. That could try to move its way into Calhoun County through the overnight, but you notice a lot of this activity starting to fizzle out and lose its energy. We're going to do it again tomorrow. With that daytime heating, more scattered showers and storms will build through the late morning into the afternoon hours, highs topping out into the upper 80s to lower 90s. But the heat and humidity really build in going throughout the work week. Here's your feels like forecast now. On Saturday, it's going to feel like 105 to as high as 110. I'll explain why that is the reason coming up.
New at 10 tonight, a fight at a Sherwood Walmart ends in gunshots. Police say a group of young adults got into a fight at the Walmart on Highway 107. They say a bystander fired a gun into the air to disperse the crowd and stop the fight, and the people involved in the fight were arrested for causing a public disturbance. But the woman who fired the shot had a concealed carry permit and was not arrested.
That's going to be investigated right now. We're not sure if there's going to be any charges pending. You have a concealed carry, you are allowed to carry it.
Yeah, but probably not recommended to do that.
No, not inside the store, not recommended.
The store was shut down for a short time, but is now reopened. There has been some confusion about when and how contact tracers will reach out to you if you have tested positive for COVID-19. And there's Marlisa Goldsmith joining us now from her home tonight to verify this. Marlisa?
Yeah, Craig, the Arkansas Department of Health says that it typically takes about 2 days or so for them to reach out to that infected person. And tonight, we verify how they do it.
One of the things that we're trying to do is accelerate how quickly we can reach people and inform them of potential exposure. So it's really helpful for us when people answer on the first ring.
So how do you know if you're getting a call from a legitimate contact tracer? Our source, the state's health department chief of staff, Stephanie Williams. She says contact tracers will call from one number. Here's what you should look for: 877-272-6819. If your phone abbreviates, the number will read 877-AR-COVE-19. Calls are made during the week and weekend, but typically won't be made after 8 p.m. To know it's legitimate, they'll tell you information you can verify, like where you've been or who you've recently been in contact with. They will never ask you for money. So tonight, we can verify this is the number of a legitimate contact tracer calling you if you've tested positive for COVID-19, so it is completely safe to answer. All right, so remember, folks, if you see or hear something that you want verified, reach out to us. We want to hear from you. You can always email us at verify@thv11.com. Text us at 501-376-1111, or you can always reach out to me on social media. Craig.
The Arkansas Department of Health has shut down a Little Rock restaurant and bar after tracing it to a cluster of coronavirus cases and finding it wasn't complying with safety guidelines. Brewski's Pub and Grub ordered to cease operations this weekend. Inspectors found the bar exceeded a 2/3 capacity limit, and it wasn't ensuring people were social distancing or wearing masks. Many restaurants are fighting to survive while complying with state regulations, but unfortunately, some are not making it. THV 11's Mercedes McKay talked to one bar owner who had to make a difficult decision.
Atlas Bar was only over a year old when the coronavirus started to make its way to Arkansas. Just 5 days ago, the owner made the announcement that the cocktail bar was shutting down for good. A decision he tells me wasn't easy, but was the only thing left he could do.
I really put literally everything into it, and it was a big gamble that sadly didn't pay off.
It was a risk Tony Poe was willing to take to fulfill a lifelong dream that dates back to his high school years.
I wanted to bring that sort of urban vibe to what I view as the most urban and diverse neighborhood in Little Rock.
His Chicago-style corner bar in the Soma district was up and running for a little over 12 months when bars were mandated to shut their doors.
It was like, wow, okay, so we cannot operate. We have no revenue whatsoever. Our space is intimate.
That intimate space that the cocktail lounge was known for turned into a roadblock when bars could open at 1/3 capacity.
The expense of getting back open, getting staffed up, getting the inventory up would be just as much as if we were opening 100%.
Without takeout, limited seating, and no way to qualify for the PPP loan, Poe realized the cards were stacked up against him and it was time to pull the plug. But he says he doesn't feel like a victim or a failure.
I'm grateful for all the outpouring of support that we've gotten since the announcement. But I'm not alone. I take a little bit of comfort in knowing that I'm not alone.
Greg Henderson, owner of Rock City Eats, fears Atlas Bar and other restaurants that have followed suit won't be alone for much longer, with rent and utility bills climbing up.
Coming into July and August, that is the point where restaurants are going to start closing that have been able to survived this long, but now all of a sudden they have a higher operating cost.
And for the lucky ones whose doors remain open, Henderson believes it's a tough road ahead.
I think you're probably looking at the end of the year before, restaurants can even think about making anywhere close to the amount of money that they, were used to making.
In Little Rock, Mercedes McKay, THV 11 News.
Sometimes it can feel like you can't leave the house, let alone do anything. But that's not true. And it helps to know what exposes you to the greatest risk. The Texas Medical Association released a graphic that ranks everyday activities. Here's Ariel Placencia with a risk rundown.
37 everyday activities. Dark green or 1 is the lowest risk, and red or 9 is the highest risk. So how accurate is this chart? Well, I asked Dr. David Winter with Baylor Scott and White Health.
People need to see things like this to understand this virus is getting worse.
Take sending your kid to school, camp, or daycare, for example. It's listed as a risk level of 6. Dr. Winter agrees.
Are the adults taking the proper precautions there? Are they disinfecting the areas that the kids are going to touch? Young kids are going to get around and play with each other, so we get that. They're not as likely to have any symptoms, not as likely to get sick, but they theoretically could get the virus and then spread it. So that's the concern with young kids getting closer together.
Working out at a gym, and that's an 8 according to the chart.
My only patient actually who has COVID right now got it from a gym. So gyms could be safer if we require people to wear a mask there, which is hard to do when you're exercising heavily. I understand that. But that's why I would put gym as a high risk, because if you take off your mask, you are going to blow out viruses if you happen to have it farther than 6 feet potentially.
Dr. Winter agrees that opening the mail, a risk level of 1, is one of the safest activities on this list. And going to a bar, well, that's one of the riskiest.
If you've had a couple of drinks, you tend to forget about the distancing and you tend to talk louder. And when you talk louder, you spray the virus farther if you happen to have it. So yeah, that's a highly suspect area.
Filing and claiming unemployment is a little more challenging right now. At least 3 things are running up the wait times on the phone and at offices around the state. The start of July meant a new quarter and a new fiscal year is underway. Many have to renew their claims because of that. Requirements to look for work also kicked in at the end of June. And remember, all that fraud we told you about last week, it's clogging up the system.
It slows down the ability for our offices to respond as quickly to those individuals that have actual claims.
The supplemental cash from the federal government is scheduled to run out at the end of this month. The director thinks that and the other headaches should drive many currently collecting back onto the payrolls.